I think people think passive income, like they absolutely conflate working not that hard and having passive income. I think I'm obsessed with AI, actually. I've been using it for like everything lately. Like the other day, I was in the shower at this house that I'm renting, and there was like a brown stain in the bathroom area. Wasn't mine though. So I took a picture of it with my chat GPT. Took a picture of it and said, "What is this? What is this?" And chat GPT told me what it was. And then I sent it to my landlord and said, "Hey, landlord, can you fix this?" It was really nice. It was an iron stain. I guess iron can be in the bath, comes out, drips, iron, makes a stain. I guess I could have fixed it, but it's not my house. It's not my problem. It's great renting. I really like it. I don't have to do anything. AC doesn't work. Call the landlord. Water's turned off. Call the landlord. Gas doesn't work. Call the landlord. There's a random iron stain in my bathtub. Call the landlord. It's all his problem. It's kind of nice. I was looking around on the internet and I looked up how much this house sold for, because I guess he bought this house a few months ago. He's probably listening to this too. Let's see how close my numbers really are. But he bought this house a few months ago, and I did the math, okay? And if he bought this house and put 20% down, and he's just paying his taxes and insurance like a normal person, he is making like $187 a month off of me. Put 20% down to make $187 a month. And he's already been out here like a few times to fix things. I asked him to put an outlet in the carport so I could charge my car, and he just did it. Kind of nice. Pretty nice. Not my problem. Pretty nice. There's your $187 this month. Thanks, Cody. Yeah. Passive income. You know, my favorite people are on the internet, I think. The people who give you those grifts about, here's how you make passive income. Like I saw one the other day that was, this guy was like, this is how I retired at 39. Follow my, secrets to unlocking passive income. And every time I see that, I'm like, hold on. Like, isn't the whole point of you being retired that you don't have to tell other people how to do this? Like, you're retired, right? I don't think that's retired if you're selling somebody else a course. Retirement ain't working so good if you're still working hard. You know how I define passive income? I define passive income like I can lay in bed all day, not even all day, like all day forever, all month, all year, all quarter, you name it. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to think, and I still get paid. I don't have to turn my brain on. There's like, you can work not that hard and make money. That's a thing. That's just not passive income. Okay. Social Security, that's passive income. Now it's a terrible deal because you paid for it, but it's passive income. Selling a course, it's not passive income. You got to update that course, because what happens when the new latest and greatest thing comes out and your course ain't worth it no more? I'm renting. It's a great deal for me. And if you think about it, everything's a zero-sum game. Renting is a great deal for me. So by that logic, it must be a terrible deal for my landlord, right? That's actually kind of pretty true. If I'm getting such a good deal, he can't possibly be making money. The only way that he makes money is he's hoping this house goes up in value. Okay, that's like kind of obvious. But here's the deal with like owning a single family rental. I'm not talking about anything else. Don't tell me about these commercial real estate projects or multifamily or whatever. I'm talking about a single family rental. Give me a break. If you own a single family rental, it's like owning a business with an unlimited amount of exposure and downside and obligation and an upside on the amount of revenue you can make. There is only so much rent you can charge in a year. You're not going to charge somebody 16 months of rent in a year and all of a sudden have a really good year. You might, if you're lucky, get somebody to pay you rent for 12 months. If you're really good. And maybe they're really nice to you and they keep your house in good shape, but maybe they suck. And they come over and ask you to do everything that they could do themselves, because that's your obligation as a landlord. owning a single family rental is owning a business with a cap on the revenue and an unlimited amount of exposure on the downside. Goodness gracious. I saw this chart the other day. Love a good chart. And I think it dispelled what a lot of people kind of think. And it basically showed the price of rent against the price of just like a mortgage every month. And like default brain says, oh, if I'm a renter, I'm throwing away money and I'm just paying my landlord's mortgage, right? That's what we think. But if you actually go and look at these numbers, like historically speaking, especially recently, it is way cheaper to rent than to buy a house. So is that a good deal for you? Is it a bad deal for the landlord? You do realize that if you're renting a house at market rate and somebody just bought a house and they're paying a mortgage at market rate, they are paying more than you are paying them. That's not a good deal for them. Okay? I don't care about leverage. I don't care about tariffs. Did you see that guy go on CNBC the other day? He owns the Panthers, that crazy man. And he was talking about how he loves China. And they're like, what about tariffs? And he said, I don't care about tariffs. That's my hedge. I don't care about tariffs. I don't care about leverage. I don't care about leverage. Put down $1 to buy 5, whatever. It's worse, actually, because your rent is not covering the cost. At some point, you're paying out of pocket to maybe, hopefully, get some upside at the end. But real estate doesn't go up forever. Did you know that the real estate market in San Francisco peaked in like 2006 and didn't come back for 15 years? A lot of places are still underwater, trying to sell them. They can't make money. You do realize that the places that are like the nicest, hottest places to live today aren't always going to be like that. Like at some point, all these people are going to leave Austin. Then we can have our city back and real estate won't be as expensive because no one wants to live here. Supply and demand is real. So if you buy a house and you can't even cover your costs with a renter and the house doesn't go up in value, you're kind of shit out of luck. Sorry, I'm just saying obvious things. Nobody listens to this anyway. The other thing is, if you miss 1 month of rent, if you have the house listed for a month, that is practically 10% of your revenue out the door. What is 1/12? Practically 10%, right? So that means if you have a new renter every year and it takes you a month to turn it over, you better change your assumptions. You know, all these college rental houses that just turn over in a day, that's not normal. Passive income. What do people think passive income really means? I think people think passive income, like they absolutely conflate working not that hard and having passive income. And by the way, people usually associate things that they're really good with working not that hard. So like if you like to make TikToks and you are really famous on TikTok and a lot of people watch your videos, you might not feel like you have a job or might not feel like you work very hard because you're really good at it. That's not passive income. Owning a car wash or a laundromat or one of those things, that's not passive income because when shit hits the fan, who's going to get the call? What happens when something blows up? You really think your $8.50 employee is going to solve those problems for you? Not passive income. There are really like literally very few things that are actually passive income. I would argue even that the most basic 60-40 portfolio that's managed by an outside advisor that just sends you a paycheck every month is not really even passive income. Because if you were to participate in that at all, you know, talk to your investment manager once a year, that's not passive income. So there's basically nothing that qualifies as passive income except Social Security. Till they take it away, right? No, they won't take it away. Well, maybe they'll take it away from me and you, but not the people who are old or the people who are dead. Did you see that? Elon's saying that they're paying all the dead people Social Security still. That is wild. I don't know if it's true. I kind of feel like it's about 80-20 true to not true. That's my current guess on what actually comes out of their mouths these days. But hey, it's better than like 0%. At least like most of it's probably rooted in some sort of truth. People like to judge other people a lot based on how they spend their money. It's a lot less like peer to peer. Like a 30-year-old doesn't really judge another 30-year-old because they're all kind of in the same boat. But like a 60-year-old likes to judge a 30-year-old and kind of vice versa. You know that vibe? Like, oh, why do you have all this fancy gadget shit? Like, I didn't have that when I was growing up. And I was like, well, no, it wasn't invented back then. No, but we're kind of getting to this point now where, like, the plasma screen TVs are like 20 years old now. And they were real expensive back in the day, too. There's this sort of generational divide where people who are maybe like one generation ahead of you and me, when they were our age, life was pretty cheap and luxuries were expensive. So you got to live in a nice, normal house, but you didn't get to buy the nice stuff, the electronics and the trips and the fancy jewelry and whatever, because that stuff was expensive. You ever seen one of those inflation charts where it shows you like the cost of different things and how they've gone up and down? And it's always the same. Healthcare and education and housing goes straight up to the right for the last 25 years in inflation. And then cars and electronics and like designer clothing or whatever goes like down and to the right. And now we're in this place where today it's like expensive to buy a normal house, but it's not so bad if I want to take all my friends to Vegas this weekend because I got airline points, or, get the nice new iPhone. iPhones don't even change. Like, they're all the same. I don't even know what kind I have. They're all literally the same. There's no point in getting a new one anymore. But they're cheap. Pretty sure they're cheap. I think I did something on that once. I don't know. I haven't bought one in a while. Mine just works. But I got one. And I would probably pay whatever the heck it costs, honestly, to buy an iPhone because I spend too much time on it. Just like the rest of you. So we live our lives. So it's an interesting study. Food, people eat out a lot more. Like the percentage of food consumed out of the house versus inside the house has gone up dramatically. People don't know how to cook anymore. Nobody goes to the grocery store. It's like basically just as expensive for me to go to the grocery store as it is to go eat out. Because if I go to the grocery store and there's only one of me or two of me at home, what am I going to do? Cook 8 portions? Oh, meal prep? Nah, that's my generation speaking. But literally, you can go pay somebody else to cook it, stick it on a plate, clean up after your mess, be done with it. But it used to be expensive to do that. McDonald's has gone up in price, though, I will say. McDonald's has gone up. I just went there this afternoon, and 10-pack of nuggets was like $8, I think. It was kind of wild. Is that right? $8 for 10 nuggets? But that's the thing. McDonald's kind of figured out that the people who shop at McDonald's, they're not really going there to save money. Because if you're really trying to save money, go to the grocery store, in theory. People who want convenience, and they'll pay up for convenience. Like, it's cold outside right now. It is ice cold, like actually 19 degrees cold. I don't want to get out of my car. I don't want to walk through the parking lot, go inside somewhere, figure it out, get back in my car, figure it out. No. If I can drive through, I will pay up to drive through. It's a way different life experience than people had 25 years ago. They had a big, nice house. They went to the grocery store and they cooked in it. No, we all live in these tiny shacks now. But we got cool stuff. Interest rates are too high. Can't buy a house anymore. This generation is lost. It's easier than ever, though, to do a lot of things, too. Like, it's easier than ever to go buy a stock. You know how people are always like, the only way to get rich is to own something? You can just go on your iPhone and, like, buy Apple or Microsoft, like, in 2 clicks. It used to be kind of complicated to do that. Now you can be dumb as rocks. Log in, link your bank, and literally, like, buy shares in a company in 60 seconds. You used to have to, like, know somebody to call them, and they would have to do it and set up a brokerage account and send you paper, and you sign it, and then you mail it back and hope it doesn't get lost. The other thing too is that, and I don't know how much this, like, affects people. If you're 30 years old, it's the only thing you've ever known, but we live in this information age where not only do we have access to information of, like, literally everything, you got Chat GPT in your pocket, but everybody's, like, flaunting it. They're posting pictures of what they're doing and where they've been. And they're just showing you the results of, the whole life that they've built or lived or stuff they do, whatever, yada, yada. Back in the day, they used to have to go look stuff up in the library, figure out, they had to like actually think about what they wanted to find. They couldn't just stumble upon something randomly in the library. I mean, you could if you had time. You had to go find it in the library, look it up in the library. Now we got the internet. Messes with people. Then you buy stuff on Instagram ads. Whole life is an echo chamber. What a weird way to live. I think I'm going to move to the country. I've been saying this a lot lately, so I think I'm going to manifest it until it becomes true. And I think it's like doable. Become a homesteader, have my own chickens, some eggs, get some nice high-speed Wi-Fi. What a weird life to live too. You live on a farm, but you got Wi-Fi. That's such a juxtaposition. Like, you're not supposed to have Wi-Fi on a farm. That's so messed up. But I would do it. Have some donkeys. I was going to say cattle, but that's probably a bit of a stretch. Although I could probably figure out how to do it. Get myself an ag exemption, log into the internet, see what everybody else is doing, and then keep going on my way. I wouldn't need much. I wonder how little I could actually like have. Like, look at all these boxes in this room right now. That whole wall is full of boxes. You can't even see them. I don't need any of that stuff. I'm not going to open it for a year. I'm just going to throw it away. Not even going to look inside. That's my mantra this year. Don't buy a thing. I'm going to net reduce the number of things that I own. It's impractical. Go out on the farm, get my Starlink set up, and life will be pretty good. Not bad. And then I'll have like no obligation. I don't know if that's true. I'm kind of working on this idea. Okay, so hear me out for a second. So like everybody in the world has, I would call them daily, or weekly, monthly, or quarterly, or annual obligations, right? Like I got to wake up every day. I got to check my email every day. I still do it. Check my email every day. Theory, I don't have to, but I do it. Maybe I can make that a weekly task. Once a month, I got to pay the rent. Every year, I got to file my taxes. Maybe I'll do that this year. Just kidding. I do it every year. But I think if you can get out to the country and slow down life a little, get rid of some of those daily obligations, that would be kind of interesting. But you're still kind of connected to the world. It's a weird way. It's a weird way to live. But I think it's doable. I wonder what would happen if you raised a kid and they like didn't know the internet existed. I don't know how long you could like hold them out. Imagine going to like a little school with 100 people. Maybe they don't even know the internet exists there. They just read books all day. Time portal, back in time, reading actual paper. My wife just got a Kindle. It's kind of weird. I kind of refuse to touch it. Reading books on an iPad freaks me out. But you can get anything like that downloaded and you can read it. I feel like a boomer now because I feel like this is like 2007 technology that's like kind of freaking me out because I like to read books, like paper books. But maybe this is just me. I think she's Gen Z. So that's why I'm judging. I'm the boomer in this house, as you can tell. Except I love my iPhone. Anyway, passive income. It doesn't exist. So don't even try. The other thing too is like, if you're a passive income guy and you're just cash flow neutral on your house, there are so many market risks you just don't think about. Like what happens when they build a prison across the street? Didn't think about that one, did you? And then your house goes down in value. And it had nothing to do with whether your house was a nice house or not a nice house. It had everything to do with the fact there's a prison across the street. And now it ain't worth shit. All right, I think I have to go. Passive income. Just get a job. Just get a job, everyone. There's no such thing as passive income. Forget it. It's impossible. You're going to work. You're going to work till you die. That's it. That's it. That's all I had to tell everyone today. If you get nothing else, passive income. Good night.